The Queen's Gathering Conference. Ladies, are you ready to lead your ship? This conference will be a transformative event dedicated to empowering women and fostering leadership in every area of your life. This is taking place on August 30th at the Event Center in Margate, Florida. For registration details, simply go to leadhership.eventbrite.com or call 954-909-9656.
That's been trying to hinder, that's been trying to resist, that's been trying to delay what God has placed in your belly. I'm here to tell you, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. It's for the taking. God said,
Gathering Conference. We are thrilled to invite you to the Queen's Gathering Conference. Ladies, are you ready to lead your ship? This conference will be a transformative event dedicated to empowering women and fostering leadership in every area of your life. This is taking place on August 30th at the Event Center in Margate, Florida. For registration details, simply go to leadhership.eventbrite.com or call 954-909-9656.
I'm gonna restore. Don't faint, woman of God. It's almost like when you're in a cocoon and you're getting ready to morph into that thing that God called you to be. He said, hold on a little while longer. Come on, you almost there. Hold on a little while longer. You almost there. Hold on a little while longer. He said, push. Push for your next. Push for your next. And this word is not just for her. It's for you too. Push for your next. Push for your next. Push for your next. Oh Lord, we bless you on tonight. Oh God, we bless you on tonight.
Hey, everyone. Good afternoon. Good Sunday afternoon. You are invited. I'm saying you are invited. Like I'm about to invite you somewhere, but welcome to the Queen's Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Dr.MandyFresh Johnson. Listen, I have an exciting guest here on the live with your girl. I'm excited to finally be interviewing the one and only Jabrina Speaks. Now, woman of God, I want to make sure, are you able to see the live? Did you catch it to be able
I
to share
did.
it?
I'm sharing it all now.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure you saw it because
Yes,
the way
ma'am. I got it.
it comes up private before we can even send
No,
it
it
to.
it, it has the world on there, so it lets me know that it is public now.
Awesome. Listen, we're excited that you guys took your Sunday evening to join us on tonight. Listen, it's always a great conversation with all the ladies that we have invited so far to the Queen Mindset Podcast. I believe that there is a word. I don't know why, but I just feel a thrust over my head. So I don't know what this woman of God is getting ready to talk about, what we getting ready to tap into. But I know for a fact that the Spirit of the Lord is already here. Listen, y'all, I'm smiling ear to ear, teeth to teeth, because I don't know, the joy of the Lord is your strength. I don't know about y'all, but I had a full emotional day today. But you know what? I had to push past what I see and
Yeah.
believe God. Anyhow, listen, it's all about resilience. This is what we've been talking about coming into season 2. I'm just excited because these women that have been coming on this platform has a story about how they became what they became. I've been following Jabrina Speak for quite some time. She's doing great work within the community with her nonprofit, the women group that she has going on, the different events that she does at various times throughout the year. She is somebody that you want to follow. I'm going to go ahead and have her introduce herself tonight. Go ahead, Jabrina, introduce yourself.
Listen, first, let me start off by thanking you, Dr. Mandy, for this opportunity, for your platform, for my Lifetime Achievement Award last year. And so I don't take any of our interactions, our encounterment lightly, because I know who you are in the kingdom and I know you do stuff from the heart for real, for real. And so I want to thank you for allowing me to be on your platform today and always when you invite me. I'm super excited for every opportunity God has given us to connect with each other. And so I am Jabrina Thompson, better known as Jabrina Speaks. It was so funny when you called me today. I was like, okay, I got to remember all the stuff that I do because I know she's going to ask me, tell me what you do. And so, just a little bit about who I am. I am a certified life and business coach. I am a notary. I am the president and founder of two nonprofit organizations. I have two profitable businesses, which is my life coach and my t-shirt business. I'm a little bit of everything, but I said all of that to say I am a humble servant first. So I am wherever God needs me to be, and so I am the servant that's willing to go. And I'm super excited that God has allowed me to do what He has allowed me to do.
Awesome, awesome.
I'm an
Listen, I mean,
author. Wait, I just you did talk about my book. I'm an author, a published author of two books. I told you I'd be forgetting what it is that I do. So, but humbly, I am a servant first.
awesome. Listen, is to see different things that you've been doing in the community is very inspiring. I watch from afar, and just to see what you've been doing, what you've been birthing out, it is amazing to see you go. And people should be inspired, like different women. If you have an idea, like you want to be join or create a women's group, she's a go-to guru, honey. She know how to get it done. So that is somebody you want to talk to, getting different
Nothing
things
but
done.
God. That's all I can say. Nothing but
God,
God.
listen, to God be the glory always. So we're talking about resilience. We've been on the topic for season two for quite some time with the topic of resilient. So my question to you is, what does resilient means to you?
Um, Going no matter what, no matter what is before you, what's behind you, and trust in God in the walk that you're about to walk in. Resilience is showing people that you are a living testimony, because some people are throwing the towel, but resilience give you the strength. And so God allows us to have the. I remember reading something about resilience and how it is birthed in you from trials and tribulations. And so resilience to me is trusting God wholeheartedly with everything that's going on in my life.
That's very good. A lot of people, we don't hear that terminology quite often, the word resilient. You'll hear people say, you got to persevere, you got to endure. But these are three different kinds of words. You got the enduring, okay. You do have, they use the commonality word of persevere, but resilient is no matter how much hit comes your way, you
Mm,
get back up and you keep going. Versus when we persevere, we're just waiting and we're just trying to see what the end's gonna be. But the
mhm,
spirit of resilience is something that is birthed that is birthed within a person based
mhm,
on how many hits they have taken. Now,
mhm,
some of us will look at the hits that we have taken in time past, like, oh my God, woe is me. But what we don't understand is God uses the hits to build your system up. Like resilience is almost like an antibody in the spirit. It builds you up in the spirit to keep going, no matter what bacteria that the enemy tries to send you in the realm of the spirit or what activity that takes place.
mhm.
Resilient keeps you going. That was just a download, and it sounded good to me. Come on,
Listen,
somebody. Resilient is like an
while you're
antivirus.
talking, I looked up that and you said something because again, I just believe, like you said, you just gave revelation that it is the antibody, the antibiotic to what we need when the devil tries to throw something at us. And it says resilience is the process and the outcome of successfully adapting to difficult or challenging life experiences. And
Yeah.
so knowing that this thing has happened, but you look at it from a different standpoint, from a different eye, then you begin to thank God for it because it is building up what you need to take you to the next level. The antibodies are building you up. So when the cold tries to come back, now that it's blocking it. So now with resilience, as it builds you up, it is taking you to your next place. So if and shall the incident happen again, now you already know how to handle it because you have resilience over your life.
Come on now. It teaches you how to fight. So
Mhm,
in Christendom, it teaches my hands how to war. No matter what's going on, I know how to fight. I know how
mhm.
to combat the enemy when he is coming at me.
Wow.
Now, I know it is wild because I'm just processing what I just said. I'm processing what I just said. Now, you have a women's group. I want to know, how was that group birth? She Connect. How was She Connect birth?
Um,
The inspiration behind it.
you know what? God is so amazing. I started Selfie Saturdays about 7 years ago. I started Selfie Saturdays when Girls Trip came out. And so God had given vision for women to come together. And so when he said Selfie Saturdays, it wasn't about a picture selfie, but it was for women to take time out for themselves, to not worry about anybody, not worry about the kids, the dog, the family, whoever, but just take a moment and breathe. And so that ran, and it's still going. But then the last 3 years, one day, matter of fact, I think it was during COVID. I think it was, yeah, like COVID time going on. It'll be 4 years next month. Um, I heard She Connects, and I was like, She Connects. And it's so funny because I didn't get the revelation until about a year or so ago, but I knew
Mm,
to be obedient to what God had given me. And so at that moment, I began to just start doing things, taking Selfie Saturdays, allowing She Connects Inc. in a sense to
mm.
take Selfie Saturdays from Jabrina Speaks. So Jabrina
Yeah.
Speaks was no longer hosting Selfie Saturdays, but She Connects Inc. was. And
Mhm.
God said, I'm going to allow women to connect from a different standpoint. A
Mm.
lot of times as women, we don't like to connect. And I'm not saying like to connect to get yours, but truly to connect because God is placing you with people you're going to need for later. And
Mm.
so I began to do that. And within the last year, God has showed me so many connections outside of my group to see women connect in the group, but then now connecting outside. God says, see, that's what it's all about.
Mm.
When women can contact each other and say, hey, I remember you had this, can I purchase that, or can I do this, or how can I help you? That's what it's all about. And so 3 years ago, going on 4 years, and it's so funny because it seemed like it's been forever, but She Connects Inc. is only going into their 4th year, and God thumbprint is on it so prevalently. I am just blessed that He has allowed me to see it, to manifest it, because again, my heart is truly a heart for my sisters. And so
Mhm.
no matter what I go through with anybody from a previous time, a lot of people don't like to connect with women. They say we
Yeah.
can't keep up a lot of stuff. I mean, all of those things. But I always tell people, remove all of that and you need a
Yes.
sister. We
Yes.
give everybody else a second chance, but when it comes to a relationship with our sisters, we want to
Yes.
cut them off immediately, not realizing. Keisha Cole has a song, and that had been my song for a long time. She talks. It's titled "Just Like You," and she talks about how we're just alike. We
Yes.
might have been through uh, different things, but I promise you, we're gonna end up on the same road. So when we remove our feelings from situations and really look at our sister as a soul for Christ,
Mhm.
for them to know who God really is, but for us to, if we have an alt with our sister, go to her, then they
Yes.
can understand what real sisterhood is. Like, I embrace everybody. I don't care who, what, when. I don't care if you feel like we had a situation in high school. I'm going to invite you, and my love is genuine. My love is real because I believe in genuine sisterhood.
And I like what you said. Like, I connect with everybody.
Mhm.
Everybody can say what you say. You got to have a special grace to connect with
Like,
everybody.
don't get me wrong. Sometimes I be like, Lord, are you sure?
It takes a grace, and not only that, God has to trust you with that level of influence to be able to connect with different people, because it takes a level of maturity.
Mhm.
And some of us, we pray for that. God connect me with this person, that person. If you have not matured enough to learn how to not take things personal, God won't be able to use you at that capacity,
Come
because
on.
people will do stuff, say some things that you don't like, but can you still keep the assignment? Can you
Come
still
on.
hold on to the assignment with the individual based on the fact that this is what God has placed together? We're not going to let feelings get in the way. We're not going to let different perspectives get in the way. Well, we agree to disagree, because
Mm-hmm.
one thing I do understand, as human beings, we're not going to always be on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to have the same perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're two different worlds, but we should be able to come together and respect each other's space. And you have your opinion, I have mine. Now, how do we come together to go forward?
Yes, yes. I
So,
mean, God has truly done that. And again, naturally, I sit back and I'm like, why, God? Let me be honest. Like, why? Um, because when you have to sincerely pray for people that you know don't like you,
mm,
that come around just to see what's going on. But he's saying, I'm showing them who I am, and I'm going to use you to do it. And so naturally, it sometimes get a little overwhelming. But I believe that God has not put me in a place that he would be embarrassed or that I would embarrass him. And so I just do it because that's what we say do. Obedience is better than sacrifice. And so I got to be obedient. And believe me, sometimes, Dr. Mandy,
yes.
for real.
I
But
had
I'm
a, I have a question to ask you, because you said some will come around. Even how do you deal with it when you know she don't like you? How do you deal with it when you know the sister don't like you? She's only coming around just to see how you do what you do, to try to maybe get information. How do you deal with that?
can I be honest?
Yes,
I deal with it in love.
make it
Because
plain.
love and kindness have I drawn thee.
Hmm.
And so if I do anything, it's going to have to be in love. And it has to be a pure love. That's why they come back. Because like, I have to do it in love. If I did it in Jabrina, they'll be talking about, I'm never going back there because that lady is. But I have to do it in love, because when you hear people's stories later, then you see why. It has nothing to do with me. I have some people that I know won't come to certain things because it's me. Not that I've done anything, but because they don't like the way God is using me. Not realizing their breakthrough is in the room. And so just knowing that I have to love you in spite of, because that's the way God has loved me, I'm gonna move in love. Them gonna be the first people I embrace when they come through the door. Because God say, listen, Jabrina, it ain't about you. It's
Mm.
about you showing them what real love, what real sisterhood, what real connections look like. And so if you do right by it, I'm going to make sure that they come back, because the Bible tells us that they're going to come right back around. You're going
Mm-hmm.
to sit to the table right with them. They're going to understand who you are and not about me. Stay humble in it. Understand that you have to move humbly, but you got to move in love. And so if you move in love, God will remove everything. You don't even see them no other way but like a sister. And later on, I've had conversations with these people, and it went back to high school, or just the way my parents loved me cause people to not love like me. And I'm like, well, what does that got to do with anything? They say,
Yeah.
because I didn't get that love the way that I saw you getting it. So that's what I'm saying. It's not about me, but it's
Mhm.
about what God has placed on my life.
I wanted to put a plug. Lord have mercy, it slipped my mind. You said something. You said something that I see quite often. Well, because it's me that's hosting it, they won't come because it's me, not because the event is not good. Because your fruit speak for itself.
Mm-hmm.
I never understood that, because unless me being having projects and stuff like that. When you're vending everywhere, you can't be everywhere at one time. But I
Mm-hmm.
never understood why people move that way, because I said, I don't care if this person likes me, if I don't like them. I like what they're doing. I'm going because
Mm-hmm.
there's something there that I know
Mm-hmm.
I can reap from.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to get out of that mindset. Well, I'm not finna go, girl. Child, it don't look like it. You never know. Like you said, your breakthrough is in the room. And I've seen the women that you've pulled in the room, the level of resources that you've pulled in the room. And it will behoove people to change that mindset.
Mhm.
You can't have that mindset. Well, I'm going because my spirit don't sit well with her. I'm not. You can't move
And
like
you
that.
know what? It's okay. It's okay. Because one day you will. Like it, and I promise you, it's so like it's okay. But when you do, when
Hmm.
God allows you to, I promise you, it will change your life forever. Whether it's my event or somebody else's. And I always
Hmm.
tell people, I ask God, don't let me put on an event. Let me give them an experience. I
That's
want
very
them to
good.
experience you. I did
Yes.
a class on that, from event to experience, because a
Yes.
lot of times we're putting on events, but events looks at the faces and the people, but an
Yes.
experience looks at the soul. So
Girl,
the
come on.
experience is not going to allow you to know that somebody is in the room that didn't like you and not show them love, because you're not looking. The event will say, why is she here? But
Mm.
the experience gonna say, I know my sister need to be in the room because I need to do what God has ordained and called me to do for her. And if it's praying for her, then that's what it is. And so when we get out of that mindset of what an event is to what an
Hmm.
experience is, it'll shift the whole room and it'll shift your event to an experience. Because then at that moment, they're going to say, God was in the room. Like you hear people say, I normally don't get up and talk, but it's something making me talk, or I don't
Uh-huh.
normally get up and do this, but I'm doing this in front of people. I normally don't share my story, but I'm sharing my story with a room full of strangers. That's
Hmm.
because God has shifted it from an event
Yeah.
to an experience. And when he does that, nobody in the room will be the same again, even
My
the so called enemy.
Listen, I've been to events before. Beautiful event, beautiful experience.
Yes.
All the vendors always have a great time, make their
Yes.
money. So listen, I totally understand. My question was because it's not so much more on the person that's hosting it, is why. So I want you to explain this for me, because you've been in the game for quite some time.
No, no,
Whether you've been hosting or emceeing, but you've been in the game for quite some time, right? So I wanted to ask you a question. Why do you think certain women have that mindset? Well, I'm not going because they're the one doing it, or I'm not going. My spirit don't sit right with him. Why do you think people have formulate that mindset? I'm just curious.
I believe that they are not spiritually mature. I believe that they have allowed the natural to come in. And again, I'm not for everybody, but I am for
Yeah,
who God has called me to be. And
my God.
so it's okay if you say, I'm not going because it's something about her. But I can guarantee you the other 500 that done came. So that
Hmm.
one, I'm okay with, because
Yes.
I may just not be what they say your cup of tea. I may not
Yeah.
be. But I believe that they are not spiritually in tune to what God is doing. And
Hmm.
so in due season and in due time, if they are truly connected to me or to you or to anybody else that hosts these experiences, one day they will come. I've had people that have had to come back to me and, like I said, have a conversation.
Yeah.
Not that I even asked, but God had allowed us to have that sisterhood
Yeah.
conversation, that real dialect and that dialogue of what, why. And they'll say, "Well, it wasn't you, but it was this person because they were in the room." I say that person don't move my room. They,
Yes.
because again, they haven't got to that place where, again, it may not be me, but they found out somebody else bought a ticket, or they found out this person was speaking at the event. So it takes a
A
level of
mature
maturity
person. Yes.
to be able to walk in a room knowing that the lions are there,
Yes.
knowing that the fire is there. And I ain't talking about the Holy Ghost fire. I'm talking
Yeah.
about the that Misha, because naturally, um, women get offended, or that low self-esteem tries to kick in.
Yes.
They like you or not. And
Mm.
so if they're walking in a room, a lot of people miss it because they have already put a guard up because they're walking in an unfamiliar place. But if you know God the way that I know God, you're gonna want to walk in that unfamiliar place because that unfamiliar place is gonna open up a door for you that you've been waiting for God to open that door. But you gotta walk in unfamiliar, sometimes you gotta walk in unfamiliar territory.
Listen, that is good to me what you're saying. I done been in rooms with people that don't even look like me, literally. Okay. And I say, you know what, Lord? I'm gonna let you speak for me because not all the time you're gonna have the opportunity to open up your mouth and say, I'm so and so and so. The
Mm-hmm.
presence of God that walks with you begins to speak for you, and people begin to like, wait a minute, there's something about this young lady. You ain't open your mouth. Tell me what you do. Tell me who you are. So, like you said, you can't be afraid to walk into different rooms, and it does take a level of maturity to be
Mm-hmm.
able to do. Okay, I may not we may have our run in, but you know what? I'm going to go to this event because there's something there for me. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, we know not all events we can go to. Maybe God may tell you, no, that ain't something that I want you to go to. You just got to be able to discern the voice of God for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's
Mm-hmm.
get into this book, dear
Yeah,
God.
dear
I
God,
want,
dear God.
yes, indeed. I want to know, how did this inspiration come about? Shout out to Coach Bernica. She's doing her thing, helping people birth their
Yeah,
book. How did it come about?
you know what? Again, God is amazing. And so this book has been in the work for a little while. And let me tell you something to the people that's watching. When it is ordained and it is a part of your assignment,
Mhm.
God is going to make sure you get it done.
My God.
I don't care how you try to wait, not yet, hold on, wait. You trying to do all the passes and the flags, and you just like, I want to encourage somebody today that if it's meant to be, it shall happen. And the reason I say that was because I prepped this book about a year ago. And I was just like, okay, again already ready, but what do I do? And the reason that I believe it happened is because I am a writer when it comes to standing on Habakkuk 2:2. 2:2 and 2:3. I am a writer. Thank you, Lynetta. I am a writer when it comes to that. I believe in writing the vision and making it plain. And the reason I said that is a lot of people ask, how did I get to where I'm at now? Is because I have been writing these visions down and working them behind the scene, and God is manifesting them. And I can hear God say, it is time for them to write it. And you are what they need. You're their midwife. And so again, I prepped this book, and just so happened, um, the loving Sister Bernica, pastor, minister, all the above, she reached out to me to be on one of her shows, one of her segments she was doing. And
Mhm.
just so happened talking about a book, not even realizing what she did or who she was. And she was like, wait, so you already got it ready? I said, yeah, but I don't know what to do. She said, don't worry about it. Send it to me. I got you. That
Wow.
was a sign that the book had to be birthed.
Mhm.
Besides that, I was speaking to a lady on the phone, and I was saying, oh my God, I got to get this book done. I never told her the title. She said, yeah, because when I start my journal with Dear God. Pastor almost ran off the road because it was like, what?
Wow.
So I screenshot my stuff that I already had. And I said, I'm going to send you this. I want you to get the date of when I did this. And I sent it to her. And I said, you are my confirmation. She said, I can hear God say, finish it. And
Wow.
so I did that. But in the process of that, God said, we know the Bible tells us where two or three are gathered, he's in the midst. And
Yes.
so he said, Jabrina, when you wrote the book for them, you and I are in the midst. They don't need anybody else to connect with because
Mm.
you are the visionary that they need. All I need you to do is prompt them for it. And the prompt is already there, dear God.
Wow.
They don't have to go into a lot of details. But when they write, I want them to write to me because it's going to happen. And so before any book goes out, I lay them on the altar. I pray over them because I am asking God. I am in a place of
Mm.
asking almost, and I know I don't have to ask more than once, but I'm sitting in a place saying, God, when they write in this book, I need you to do it for them because you've
Wow.
done it for me. And
Mhm.
so you told me If they come to you with, dear God, you gonna answer it. And so with 2 or 3, he's already in the book. On the back of the book, it says about Habakkuk writing the vision. I want them, I've been asking God, when they write, let it flow like water.
Yes.
God, when you answer it, let them remind them that they wrote it in the book, that they're writing it to you because you showed me and you told me. You showed me when I wrote it what can happen for me. The blessings and the manifestation that has come out of me writing. This is how She Connects Inc. was born.
My
This is
God.
how Royalty was born. This is how Teas by Jabrina Speak was born. This is how my notary business was born. This is how me hosting it, because I've been writing. This is how my 3rd annual retreat was birthed, because I wrote the vision and I made it plain. I didn't write it to make it be perfection to Him. But He said, the Bible says, write it and make it plain. If you make it plain, I got you. I don't gotta try to look between what you're doing, this, that. Make it plain to Him what you want to happen. And I am standing in agreement with you, because He's already showed me, if they write it and they believe it and they work. Because a lot of times people don't want to work in the wait. They're waiting and they're like, it's not happening yet. But my retreat for Atlanta was written maybe 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago. But I
Wow.
wrote it and I made it plain to Him. God, you're going to take me out of the States. And then in those years, He brought revelation. He brought confirmation. He sent people to tell me, you're going out of state. You're going to another place. You're going national. You're going this. And I say, they don't even, they always tell you when you get a prophecy, it's only confirmation. Not knowing I had written this a long time ago. And
My
so
God.
prompt them, get them ready for their next, because you have been obedient. And so my books are pulling on me now, because I'm at God, I need you to do it for Him. But while you're waiting for Him to do it, I need you to worship Him. While
My
you're waiting for Him to do it, I need you to understand, don't get weary in the wait. While you're waiting for Him to do it, I need you to continue to write. And if you do those things, watch He honors your writing. And that's how I've been writing.
Listen.
I promised you, when I heard, dear God, and it could be as simple as, dear God, I didn't have a good day today, but God, I need your strength. Dear God, today was not, dear God, tomorrow gonna be better. Matter of fact, I'm going ahead and letting you know that I'm already manifesting for tomorrow. I'm already putting tomorrow in your hands. I'm already putting 6 months from now in your hands. I'm putting my family back in your hands, because sometimes we try to work it out, but God has said, just come write it to me. Make it plain.
My God.
Because though it's hairy, it's going to come at an appointed time. So don't get weary in the right and in the wait, but worship Him and understand that it shall happen.
You know what? I got to make sure I get me a copy of your book.
I got you.
And I'm so happy that you gave that testimony, because a lot of people don't understand, um, when we're asking God to do certain things. Number one, we got to learn how to sit in His presence and to hear. Because
Mhm.
when I hear the word dear God, that is telling me you are a woman that sits in the presence of God. You're
Mhm.
somebody that waits to hear what God has to say and to apply what He tells you. So that book is golden. Listen, you guys, if you're watching this live, some of you guys gonna come on this replay and watch it a little later. Get the book. Get the book. Is you're about to say something? Go ahead.
I say get the book. I listen. I'm in a place. I'm praying over them, because he's not a man that he should lie. And so if you ask me to get them ready for their next, I
Mm,
don't know what their next is, but I'm believing God for your next. I don't have to know what your next is, but I'm standing in the gap saying, God, if you did it for me, if you did it for my next, I know you're going to do it for theirs. But I pray that they don't get weary in the wait,
my
because
God.
again, I birthed things years later, but I
Hmm.
had to write it. I had to make it plain. I had to pray over it. I had to say, God, when is the appointed time? He said, daughter, when it comes. Because a lot of times We're ready for that instant thing, that microwavable thing.
Yes.
God is saying, not in this season. Some stuff you're gonna have to cook it out. You're gonna have to work that thing out.
Oh,
You gotta write the recipe, you gotta go to the store, you gotta go get the ingredients, you gotta prep for it. Because a
yes.
lot of times we think we prepare for something, but we have not prepped for it. We haven't done that. But God said, if you write it, I got you. I got you if you write it. I got you if you write it and if you work it. Because see, just because we write, the Bible tells us without faith, works is what?
Dead.
I gotta work this thing. And we may not see the evidence yet. Again, I am a living witness. If you want, it's me. If you want to know, it's me. It's what is me, oh Lord, it's me. You got to work it out. I still had to make the necessary connections. I still had to do when I my testimony to Atlanta, God did that.
My
God
God.
did that. I went to Atlanta one day, and got everything I needed. But the
Wow.
day that I went, I had no plan in place. I
Mm.
had written what I want, and God said, "When you go there, I'm gonna show you where to go." I didn't know what hotel I was going to. I didn't know anything. I got in that rental car. I was like, "All right, Lord, where I'm going?" Because the people blowing now. I didn't know left, right, where I'm going. He said, "You're gonna know when you get there." And Dr. Mandy, when I
Wow.
got there, I knew he was there. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost,
My
because
God.
everybody that I needed to speak with was in
Mhm.
the building. I had been
Wow.
writing that already. God said, okay, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you what real faith looks like. Because I'm taking you somewhere where not your plan is out the door.
My God.
You're gonna have to follow every step that I told you to do. Because you done already wrote it to me. You made it plain. This is where you want to go. This is what you want. This is what you okay. Now follow my steps and watch what I do for you. And he did.
My God. That is a blessing. Listen, you are you are inspiring me because I got some things cooking in the books earlier this year.
Wow.
And the Queen Gathering Conference is going to travel. It's going to travel. And your testimony is a confirmation for me like, Dr. Mandy, God got you, girl. Don't worry
He
about
got
nothing.
you.
He got you.
He
So
got you. He
it's,
got
it's,
you.
it's just a fresh breath hearing you say that and speak on that
Wow.
because sometime God, not sometime, always, God to use somebody to blaze that trail to go like, hey, I've done it. You can do it. Don't be afraid. And this is why it's important to connect to people things
Yes.
has been there or stepped out, come on, ahead of you that, hey, it's going to work out.
It's going to.
Everything you need is going to be in place. Just obey God.
Please, if you don't do nothing else, obey him. Obey
My
him. Obey him. I'm telling you, Dr. Mandy. And I could give you more off this live to let you know. I'm telling you, it was nothing but a God move. I didn't go in. Oh, I want to go to. I just went. I could hear him a few weeks
God.
before I booked my flight. He said, "Go to Atlanta. Go to
Wow.
Atlanta. Go to Atlanta." I'm like, I don't even have no extra money to buy no ticket. Ended up getting a cash out for $300 out
Wow.
of nowhere. I said, "Oh my God, that's the ticket money." I paid for my ticket. I called my VP. I said, "Listen, I don't know if y'all going or not, but y'all know how I move. I don't wait for nobody. I
Yes.
move when God tell me to move." And that's what's wrong with a lot of people. They trying to wait to see where you gonna go, you gonna do this, or what. When God tell you to move, that's
Yeah.
all that matters. You don't have to explain it to anybody because a lot of times we trying to say, "Well, I did this because of X, Y, and Z." You don't owe anybody an explanation when God tell you to move. Only time you owe somebody an explanation when it ain't of God. When it's
Listen.
of God, you tell them, "Listen, get out your feelings like I told y'all earlier. I got somewhere to go." And my VP was like, "Oh, you ain't playing." I said, "I booked my flight." She said, "What you left?" She got on and booked her flight. And again, we went there. And what I thought would take all day
Mm.
only took about an hour.
Wow.
I only went to one hotel.
Wow.
Only one. I thought I was going to have to go from hotel to hotel. People wasn't going to be there. It was in the middle of the week. People were going to be off.
Mhm.
Everybody I needed to talk to was there. To
Wow.
the point they began to give me stuff. "Oh, don't worry about this day. I got you. What else do you need? I was like, I had to turn my head. I started crying, looking out the window. I let my VP. I said, I know this God. Y'all can't make me believe nothing else. The young man was like, I'm getting chills just talking to you. I said, I know this God. Because I didn't know I don't know anybody like to be saying, go here, go there. We
Wow.
drove downtown Atlanta and we looked at each other. I said, this ain't it. I said, I think I saw a Hampton because again, I started Googling when I got there.
Yeah.
I said, yeah. I said, let's go there. When we pulled up, not even been in, I said, this it. She said, it is. We began to pray before we got upstairs. I said,
Wow.
God, give us favor when we get up there. That was the only hotel I went to. The rest of the day, I was in Atlanta just riding around, going to store. I said, God, like, I could have caught a flight back earlier because I caught the late flight back thinking I was going to have to work. I said, no, you had written and made it plain.
Mm.
When you wrote it, you made it plain. So I didn't have to do a lot of searching for you. I'm going to tell you where to go, and that's where you went.
That's beautiful. Listen, I'm just taken by your testimony. If you're listening to this live, you guys listen. If you have a vision, write it down.
Please,
Everything that I've written in my vision board,
please.
Jabrina, it has come to pass.
Yeah.
I noticed everything that I write down. I said, okay, God, this is what we're doing.
Yes.
And the ones I work towards is what came to pass. Like you said earlier,
Mhm.
faith without works is dead. You can write something down, but if you don't work towards it, nothing is going to get done. And I'm just excited about what God is doing in your life. I'm excited about the doors He's opening, the people He's allowing you to connect. And you're not just going to hit Atlanta. I just see this thing going nationwide.
Yeah, it's going to another state next year. It's already in the works. It's going to another state. I listen. God told me no Florida after I did the first 2 years in Florida,
Wow.
and I didn't even do it locally. My first one was in Naples. My next one was
Mhm.
in Stewart. For some odd reason, I could not do it in Broward County right away because God says I need them to understand where their faith is taking them. And
My
so if
God,
you do it here, they're too comfortable here.
too.
I need them to know that I'm a big guy with some,
Hmm.
and I need them to have big faith. And so where you go, they're gonna go. And naturally, I'm like, ain't nobody coming. Okay, because the enemy will try to play with
Yeah.
this.
Oh, yes.
And I'm like, oh my God. In less than 48 hours this year, retreat was sold out. I'm like,
Wow.
God, my first year, it wasn't even 24 hours. It was, I I knew it was time. And so we
Yes.
have to know our timing. We
Yes.
have to know our timing. Just because it was written a while ago, it wasn't
Hmm.
the timing for that. But when it's your time, God is going to shine so bright on it as long as you are obedient to his word. He's gonna let you know. I promise you, because I begin to say, God, did I bite out more than I can chew for Atlanta? Like, wait a minute, I'm having a moment. I'm give me a second. But God says, no, you bit off exactly what I needed you. And matter of fact, Atlanta was here. You going somewhere? I said, Lord, all right. I guess I better prepare for the next one too. I'm
So
already
prepare
in
for
the
the next one.
process of that.
I know you're getting grounded. Like I see it going state to state, but it's going to be international. That's where you're going. She Connects International is basically that's where it's
Dr.
headed.
Mandy, you weren't even up there, and that was prophesied to me while I was up there.
I
I
wasn't,
had
but
a woman
honey,
of God, and she said exactly that. So you only confirming what it is, but those same exact words. She
She
said,
Connects International. That
that ink. She said that ink.
now
It's good. She said, but it's gonna be international. And I'm like,
I wasn't in the room
y'all
with
better
you
be
now.
ready to work. So
In the room
you
now. I'm
were
here.
not in the room. You were not in the room, and nobody was live.
My
But
God.
that's what God had given. And it's so funny because going back to vision and how this book came about, I do vision board parties every year because again, I've seen the manifestations of what happened. That was the event you came to, that you vendored at, was 2 years ago, vision board party. But I've
Yeah.
seen what God can do for everybody that has joined me at the vision board party. I've seen the manifestation for them if they do the work and believe. I've seen the manifestation over my life. While you were talking, I was thinking about a airplane I put on my vision board a few years ago while you were talking that popped back in my head. And then I put some books on my board, and I didn't even realize that. Like I'm over here, my head. You know how we. I'm like, oh my God, I did put another book. Like I put that on my board a few years ago, and so to see the manifestation now is just coming back to me while we're talking about vision. So listen, write the vision and make it plain because it'll change your life forever.
How can they find your book? How can they find your book?
It's on Amazon and it's on my website, www.jabrinaspeaks.com. Also, if you go on Amazon, it's on there, Dear God, by me as well. The thing is, if you get it off Amazon, I can't sign it, but I am planning on having a book signing possibly in August. So if you get it on Amazon and you want to get it signed, I know I'm like, oh Lord, I guess I got to go and do this. But I'm grateful that God is doing what he's doing. But I am planning on doing a book signing in August. So if you get it on Amazon and you want it signed, I would love for you to come to my book signing. Also, I have my Dear God t-shirts that you can purchase on my website. So, yep, we letting people know it's a Dear God season.
And something about your organization, the women that you draw, it's like I see like you're a beacon. It's like I see written over you, you're like a beacon of hope. It's almost like a person's last stop. And you're that beacon of hope that give women that people would think, she's not going nowhere. She about anything. But when they encounter you, you pour into them hope to dream again. And everybody don't have that grace, especially when people have been through traumatic situations. They've been through different various things in their lives where it just seemed like certain parts of their lives have died. But God has placed a grace upon your life. When they encounter Jabrina, they're encountering a beacon of hope. You cause the very thing that the enemy came to kill on the inside of them to wake back up. That is a grace. Oh, I feel that thing. That is a grace that God has given you for women. And thinking not change, that strange women starts approaching you. That's why I wasn't there in the room, and that's why I said She Connect International. It's just something about you that draw women that typically don't. I'm not gonna say they don't look like much because typically people would not look at, but because of the grace that you carry, you cause them to wake up, cause them to come alive. You cause what seemed like a traumatic experience, you will cause them to see a new perspective on what they've been through.
They have to.
So listen,
They have to.
get ready, woman of God.
They have to.
Work is about to expand. Your
Wow.
branches are about to expand, and your team need to get with the program because your team is getting ready to expand.
Yes.
Your team is getting ready to expand.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
I'm
Listen.
just excited about what God is doing. Don't get overwhelmed because when you're like,
Yeah, naturally, I'd be like,
yeah, yeah.
every
Don't.
time, and that's why I believe. I believe I know that God gave me this scripture to stand on. It's on my business cards because
Yes,
a lot of people say, "How do you do what you do?" I said, "Because I can do all things
come on.
through Christ who strengthens me." And so every time I naturally feel weak, God sent a fresh
Yeah.
anointing, a fresh spirit, a calming every time. When I was in Atlanta, I shared with them, we were out to eat that Saturday, and I was sitting to the table crying, like
Mm.
I could barely eat my food. And I felt like I wasn't crying for me, but I didn't know who I was get ready to encounter before they came. And
Wow.
one of the ladies, she said, "You have allergies?" And I said, "No, ma'am," because that's how bad my eyes were running. And I
Wow.
said, "Y'all give me a moment." And one of my uh, sister friends was over. She said, "I know it's overwhelming, but God is gonna give you the strength." And I said, "I know He is." But it
Mhm.
was just at that moment I couldn't stop crying. I could not stop. You would have thought my dad died again the way I was crying. I was crying. Like, I went to the bathroom and I got myself together. And that was the last time I cried all weekend until Sunday. But it
Wow.
was such a release. It was such
Yes.
it was God preparing me for what was being
Yes.
getting ready to be shared in the
Yes.
room, and it was more humbling for me because I'm like, I always say, God, like they came to Atlanta with little old me. Like
Yeah.
I'm
You're
not
not a
this
little old
person.
me. You're not a little old me.
But
Mhm.
I say that humbly. Like I say that from this point,
Yes.
like because I never want to get. Don't ever let me
Got
get
you.
the big head.
Yes.
God,
Yes.
keep me humble. Keep me at your feet. Keep me
Yes.
bowed down. So I
Yes.
never feel like, oh, okay, I have arrived.
Yes.
Because,
Yes.
honey, one thing about when you feel like you arrived, you will be departed. But
It's
God will
true.
give you a season of that. I believe that. But I
My
also
God.
believe, God, keep me humble. Keep me
Yes.
at a place where I can always hear you in the midst of it all. My
Yes.
hearing ain't always that good naturally, but God, keep that
Yes.
discernment. I may miss sometimes.
Yes.
Like, how did I
Yes.
miss that? But God will always bring back and say, I'm glad you missed it because now you're going to
Mhm.
sharpen up the tools a little bit better. And
Yes.
saying I don't look at it as being a negative thing. I would
Yes.
never. This will be 8 years, 9 years that my dad passed away, and me and we were daddy girls. Like my mom and dad was together to the day he left this earth, and so I would never forget on July 17th when I got to the house and I saw the lifeless body, but they were working on him, and we went to the hospital, and I walked out and I said, God, I know you to be a miracle worker, but I also know you to be my strength. And so, whatever you're getting ready to do, prepare me for what's next. And when they called him home, God says, I'm preparing you for what's next. I didn't
Wow.
look at God and say, why did you, why? I know you could have. Mm-mm. And so, when we change our perspective of things that so called look negative in the natural eye,
Hmm.
you realize that, okay, what lesson is it that I need to learn? Where are you preparing me for? Where are you taking me? Then you no longer look at stuff. I tell people I don't look at stuff negative. Instantly, I start to say, okay, wait, what do I need to learn from this? Because if I look at it negative, I'll
You're gonna
lose
miss it.
everything I have. You'll lose it. You'll be
Yes.
ready to fight and act a fool and why they did this. You'll be like, But
And
from
lose
a
your placement in
spiritual
the spirit.
standpoint, you got to say,
Hmm.
God, what is it that I need to learn from this? Because obviously there's a lesson that I need to learn. And
Yes.
so I'm grateful that he puts me in that place. And y'all that's a part of She Connects Inc. I want to get a part. I always laugh with this. We well balanced. We well balanced over there, y'all. We well
Yes.
balanced. I'm a balanced person. I let people be who they are. I don't
Yes.
try to conform you in any way. I
Hmm.
let God do what he gonna do in the midst of the room. Honey, our thing is we party and we pray. Because I believe God gonna be whatever we need him to be. And so we
Listen.
party and we pray. We enjoy life. We
Yes.
enjoy, you're gonna get what you need, but I'm gonna let you enjoy life. And that's what we did on last weekend.
Listen, you guys. Thank you so much, Jabrina Speak, for joining the Queen's Mind Conversation. Listen, you ladies, please get her book.
Thank
It's
you.
going to change your life. Writing the vision, making it plain, starting with Dear God. She's gonna send me the link. I'm gonna make sure I put her link in our caption. Not only that, listen, you guys, August the 30th, if you are in the sunny South Florida area, I want to take this moment to invite you to the Queen's Gathering that is taking place at the market. I almost said marketplace. That is taking place at the event center in Margate, Florida. Tickets, well, no, the conference portion is free with registration, but our networking event, our networking award party, it's not free. You got to purchase a ticket. It's going to be amazing, off the chain. God's going to be there. You want to be able to rub shoulders with those who are in the room, connect, share your business card, network. You want to go ahead and be there. It's going to be an event that you don't want to miss. Okay. I'll also share that link in the caption. Jabrina, do you want to share any last words before we go ahead and get off the line?
Definitely, you guys go over to Jabrina Speaks on any platform. Also, you'll see She Connects Inc. as well. We have an event every month. So we have something at the end of this month, and every month after that, leading out this year. And so we would love to have you join us again, Dr. Mandy. I appreciate you for this opportunity, for your platform, for allowing me to grace your stage. Because my leg was over here shaking real bad. I was
Really?
you know what's crazy, because I get nervous every time. But God said,
Yes.
because that makes you stay humble. That makes
Yes.
you know you need me in the midst of it all. You can't do it by yourself, baby.
Yes.
And so again, I thank you for this opportunity. I pray many blessings over you and your family, over your husband. I
Thank
pray,
you.
I pray that God continues to cover you guys.
Amen. And I receive that in the name of the Lord. All right, you guys. Until next time, thank you for joining us at the Queen's Mindset podcast. I will see you guys next Sunday.
Gathering Conference. We are thrilled to invite you to the Queen's Gathering Conference. Ladies, are you ready to lead your ship? This conference will be a transformative event dedicated to empowering women and fostering leadership in every area of your life. This is taking place on August 30th at the Event Center in Margate, Florida. For registration details, simply go to leadhership.eventbrite.com or call 954-909-9656.
That's been trying to hinder, that's been trying to resist, that's been trying to delay what God has placed in your belly. I'm here to tell you, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. It's for the taking. God said, I'm gonna restore. Don't faint, woman of God. It's almost like when you're in a cocoon and you're getting ready to morph into that thing.